And always great to welcome back our next guest. She makes a return trip down to Sarasota about once a year, usually in January this time of year. She'll be doing a couple of shows coming up on Saturday the 18th at 8 o'clock and Sunday the 19th at 9 o'clock. And that's at the Glen Ridge Performing Center. It's great to welcome back a great singer and a banjo artist, great jazz performer, Cynthia Sayer. And Cynthia, how are you? Good to talk to you.
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
I think we did this about a year ago.
Yes, that's right, and I really appreciate your regular support of myself and also just jazz banjo, because I know it's something that sometimes people don't think to put those two words together.
I love your performance, but I think you're also a smart woman for coming to Florida, and particularly Sarasota in January, getting out of New York. It's a good idea.
Oh, boy, is that the truth?
I know you have family down here, right? You spent some time with them.
Yes, I was just about to say I'm very grateful my parents decided to move to Sarasota because that gives me the excuse to visit there regularly, and that's what started me working down there, gigging, doing shows a number of years ago when they first moved there. So now I've built something there, and I love it. It's great every year.
Did you come down here as a kid with your parents, like most people up north did, like I did, or did they come down a little bit later when you were already grown up?
No, it was only after they retired did they move there, and I never had been to Sarasota before that.
So I know they've been here quite a while, about 10 years or so. So they found a good place.
I think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They love it. They love it, and it's such a great cultural center, which of course is wonderful for me. It's one of the reasons why they moved there, and it's great for me because there are such incredible musicians, and there's a wealth of artists there to work with, which makes it ideal. It's
a great jazz town, obviously the Jazz Club down here, but a lot of venues still do live music, which I think we've talked about it before, Cynthia. Kind of sad in a way that those are getting harder to find, particularly outside of New York, right?
Yeah, well, times change. People like myself, we spend as much time, making sure that we are visible online as well as in live
right.
Venues. But it's okay. The world changes always, and as long as I feel very grateful that I can work as a jazz musician, that I do well, and I get to travel and do what I love. So goodness, I can't complain. But I tour internationally, and as a matter of fact, 2014 I'll be in Scandinavia and various countries several times, and still waiting for some other things to come in, and yes, in New York and elsewhere in the country, and spreading the jazz banjo gospel wherever I go.
You mentioned at the top, some people may not associate banjo with jazz. You maybe associate it more maybe Dixieland or country type music, but your type of banjo, it's 4-string banjo. Is that particularly in jazz, or it just happens to be you play the 4-string?
No, the 4-string banjo was originally a jazz instrument. Most people, when they think of banjo, they think of bluegrass.
Right.
They think of Pete Seeger. They think of folk, country, and these days predominantly bluegrass. Artists out there who are high profile, like Steve Martin, and many bluegrass groups. That's just their first thought. And jazz banjo has been around a long time, and it is a very important part of American jazz history. And I'm doing my best to kind of remind the world about the banjo's very big and popular role in jazz, because it's kind of gotten forgotten. Although there is a resurgence now these days. I used to say that it's been sort of forgotten, but that's very much less the case, I'm happy to say, these days. There's a lot of hot jazz swing. There's a young generation, that has come up that are, really into it all throughout the country, and of course that's wonderful for me. New Orleans based, but various styles and with a current sensibility, as I try to do. I'm not someone who tries to recreate music of the past. I'm a person of today, and I have a current approach, but I love old material. I think it's wonderful music, and so that's what I like to play.
That's one thing about a banjo. Anytime you hear it, it makes you feel better. It's not a sad instrument at all. I guess you can play it sad, but you always seem to feel better when you hear that sound. At least I do.
Well, I think it's sort of uplifting, and I don't know. It's like my mission to spread good times.
Again, for those who may not have been with us before, how did you get started with the banjo? That was not your first instrument, was it?
I started on piano, but I had no intention of being a musician initially. I thought I was going to go to law school, but that didn't happen. and I started banjo when I was 13, and I played piano first. I actually played a number of instruments, but I was most serious about piano. I played some drums, I played guitar, I played some viola when I was in elementary school, but it was all just a hobby. It was fun, and I wanted a drum set at one point, and I had a sort of a confrontation with my parents. They didn't want all that racket in the house, and I lobbied hard for it anyway because I'm very stubborn. And I came home from school, and voila, there was this banjo on my bed, and I knew immediately it was a bribe. I would never get my drums, so I thought, well, okay. And I had a vague association to bluegrass music, but I didn't really know anything about the different kinds of banjos. And you were mentioning before about four-string. Mm-hmm. There are actually two kinds of four-string banjos, the tenor banjo and the plectrum banjo, and these are both from does the finger picking. Mm-hmm. But the four-string banjos, we use a flat pick, and we play chords and melody, sort of like one thinks about with jazz guitar, except banjo style and approach, and those are the jazz and also vaudeville and musical theater instruments.
Is it a difficult instrument to learn and then to play? I would imagine you have to have great strength in your arms, wrists, and fingers. It seems like you're doing a lot of working there.
You have to be just brilliant to play banjo. No, I'm kidding. I honestly, I don't. I get asked that question a lot, and I don't really think any one instrument is any harder or easier than other instruments, mm-hmm. as much as it is what you have a predisposition for you. I think I can sort of play anything that you strum or bang, piano, drums, guitar, banjo, ukulele. I play some ukulele too, things like that. But ask me to play a trumpet? No way. Ask me to play flute? No way. So, I think we just have different predispositions for what we can latch onto. And of the string instruments, really it's just as far as you want to take it. You can play just a few chords, like you can play on a guitar and be happy with that and sing a lot of songs, or you can go the distance and get, to whatever level you want.
Let's talk a little bit about the shows down here at Glen Ridge Performing Arts Center. You're going to be doing one on Saturday, the 18th of January at 8 o'clock, and then Sunday, the 19th at 2. Give the folks a bit of a taste what they can see.
Well, first of all, I'm going to be with an extraordinary clarinet player named Alan Vichet, and he is very renowned jazz clarinetist, and we haven't seen each other in some time. We sometimes will jam or see each other at festivals, and we've done, I guess we did a tour together a bunch of years ago in Italy and so on, but it's been a while, so I'm really looking forward to playing with him again. He's absolutely fantastic, like I said, very well known. And on Saturday night, on string bass, I'll have Jay Mueller, who often works with Alan. Also, both of them are from the Orlando area. Mm-hmm. And on Sunday afternoon, it's a matinee, and I'll have Don Mopsick with me. And again, these are all top musicians, and I'm thrilled to get to work with them, and it's one of the things I love, like I said, about being in Sarasota, to have these great musicians, around.
Glen Ridge Performing Arts Center, I guess you just look them up online, get tickets there, or go to your website too, I guess, right? There's a link probably, CynthiaSayer.com.
Yeah, I have a link right on my website, on my schedule page, so you can get tickets, and they're going, so we've sold out the past number of years,
I know,
and
yeah.
I hope we'll sell out again, so
I think you will.
To your listeners. And but I hope to see you soon, all of you who are listening, and get your tickets soon. And there is a discount for students. There's a discount for Jazz Club Society members, South County, and also the Sarasota Jazz Club. And so you guys get to get in for less, and it'll be a good time.
Cynthia, good chatting with you. We'll see you at, I believe, the Sunday show, and then good luck on all the gigs down here. And let's not wait a whole year before we talk to you again. But thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me on your show again.